And good morning, everyone. Good to be back. So, it's been a while since I did a live stream. Sorry about that. I was really busy with two things, actually. First of all, the Lilac OpenEdX release, which was published on June 9th by the Build Test Release Working Group. And so I had a lot of work to do to make sure that Tutor was working with Lilac. So if you're not familiar with this release yet, you should take a look at the blog post by OpenEdX, which was posted right here. Lilac has been released, and you should really take a look at the release notes. In particular, for those of you who are running e-commerce, well, there's some work to do. And this was really something, well, this release was quite special to me because, well, first it was a lot of work, then it was the first release where I got significant help from the Tutor maintainers, the maintainers group. And guys, you really made my life much easier. Also, this is the first OpenEdX release where Tutor is actually one of the official installation methods. So if you are just starting with OpenEdX, it is now recommended to get started right away with Tutor and not with the native installation. This is, of course, a huge change, not just for edX and the OpenEdX community, but also for me and other Tutor maintainers. But I'm not here to talk to you about Lilac today. I'd like to tell you about something else that I've been working on and which I released at the same time as the Lilac release. And I am honestly very excited about it. I'm really just as much proud of this new product than I was with Tutor. That's because I created something that resolves a very ancient and major issue for all OpenEdX platform administrators. And it's of course the topic of analytics. To be able to understand what's going on your platform and how users are interacting with it, what's going on basically on your OpenEdX platform. And so I released this product, which I called Cairn, and I think you should take a look at it because I think it's really going to be a game changer. So first of all, Cairn is apparently, are we having connection issues? I hope not. So OBS was disconnected, it's now reconnected. Okay, good. We're back live. So I was talking about the importance of having analytics. And the idea is not to create addictive retention like you would inside social networks, for instance. This is not our goal as a community. Instead, we want to make our learning material and learning experience better. We don't necessarily want people to spend their whole days on our learning platforms, but we want to make sure that they get some actual learning out of it. Unfortunately, until now, OpenEdX was really lacking in terms of analytics. There are mainly two products, which are Insights and Figures, which are mentioned here, but they suffer from a few major issues. So first of all, when I started building Cairn, I wanted to be able to aggregate both event data and what I call stateful data. So event data is everything that happens on your platform. This student logged in, they watched this video, participated in, completed this problem, this kind of stuff. And then there's the stateful data. Okay, this student's name is John Doe. Their gender is this and that. They come from this country, and here are their grades. And this is what I call states. Quite difficult to mingle, to merge these two very different sources of data. But we managed to do that with Cairn. And I wanted to be able to aggregate event in real time. In contrast with Open edX Insights, which aggregates event data in batch, so every minute or hour or day. And I felt like it was not necessary to resort to batch collection. I wanted Cairn to be usable both by power users and also by users who will want to just have access to very simple dashboards and basically just have read access. So power users are people who will want to actually explore the data and create their own metrics and visualizations. And of course, Cairn needs to be scalable because universities run Open edX at scale with many students, and we need something that scales with the number of courses and students. So Cairn addresses each and every of these individual bullet points. So feel free to ask anything in the chat. I'm going to show you a demo of Cairn. I must warn you that this demo is running on my local computer. So it might sometimes be a little bit underwhelming because I only have 2 courses there, and there are like only 2 users who are 2 test users who are registered on the platform. So in terms of analytics, it's going to be a little bit disappointing. I hope I will make up with the quality of the dashboards. Okay, so I have this Open edX platform running at local.overhang.io, which is the local platform that you might be familiar with if you've already run Tutor. And then there is Cairn, which runs at data.local.overhang.io. And this is the dashboard that comes out of the box with Cairn. So let me show you what's going on here. So here we display information, and it's filtered by time and by course. So I can decide to not filter by time, for instance, and still filter by course. So here we see the number of enrolled students in this course, the number of active students in this time range. So we'll put it back to last week. So there were 0 students active last week. 0 students watched a video, and no student tried a problem. So these 3 items here, these 3 numbers, come from the event data, and the enrolled students come from the what I called the stateful data. I will show you later that this this data comes in real time, but I will show you that after. But maybe I can show it right now. So if I go to the demonstration course, it's a bit slow because I'm running YouTube streaming on the same computer as Open edX. So let's take a look at lesson 1. This is the demo course. And we have this science and cooking video, which some of you might have watched a few hundred times if you've played with Open edX, the Open edX demo course. It's really slow to load. I guess transferring from YouTube doesn't play well with streaming at the same time. So if I can play an event here, I can play the video, and it will trigger a video event, which will be collected by Cairn. It's really very slow. Let's take a look at something else. Maybe problem completion. So the paragraph contains reference to sleepiness and to an expected event. I don't know. So did this trigger an event? Let's refresh the dashboard. So students attempted to watch a video. Well, one student watched a video and was active during the last week, and that's me, because I just watched the video. So to try the problem didn't trigger. I don't know. Let's try this to refresh this. Not working. Okay, demo time. I love it. I love it. Okay, so here it's working when I remove the filter range. Ah, the joys of demos. Trust me, it will work. Okay, so you saw that this is happening in real time. This is the number of students who actually completed every item in the course. So on the y-axis you see the number of students, and here you see the every block in the course. So the 2 students completed the first item, which is called blank HTML page in the demo course, and only 1 student completed the other items. You can also get stats about the enrolled students, like their gender and level of education. This is something that you, this is information that you fill from your account. So if I switch to secondary high school for education completed, I should be able to see the change here. Wait, what? This is supposed to work. There you go, secondary high school. So what next? So again, this is a bit underwhelming because there are only 2 students who are actually registered to the course, but I think you get the idea. So this is the enrollment history. This is a graph of the number of students who enrolled every day. So 1 student enrolled in April and 1 student enrolled in May. So the number 1 here is the number of students who enrolled recently. This is a histogram of the grades of the students on the course. So there's 1 student who has a 38% grade. And then we have some visualization, which I'm really happy about. So here you can pick video IDs, and it will give you some data about the number of unique viewers, the average watch time, the total watch time for the entire video. And then you have this sweet histogram, which I picked from the edX Insights platform. This is a histogram of the number of viewers for each and every second of the video. So the 95th second was watched twice by 1 unique viewer, and the second view was a replay, meaning someone skipped back and replayed. And you can change the video here, and it will give you, again, different stats for different videos. And again, this is real time. These stats will change as you as people view the videos in real time. So this dashboard comes right out of the box for Cairn subscribers. And this is great for people who just want to use the dashboard. But like I said, I also wanted to make Cairn useful for people who will want to explore their own data and compute their own metrics. It's not really my job as a Cairn developer to decide what your KPIs and your metrics are. You might want to decide, okay, I need to have that many students who registered. This is my objective, so I need to have a big visualization that showcases this number. It's not my job to define your KPIs. So you should be able to create your own visualizations with your own metrics. And Cairn allows that. So Cairn is built, maybe you noticed, on this piece of software called Superset, which is a data exploration front end developed by the Apache Foundation. And you can just run any kind of query on your data from this SQL editor, because all the data is queried with SQL. I'll come back to that. It does not mean that data is stored in a SQL database. So let's take a look at the OpenEdX database. We have all these tables, so we can take a look at the video events, order by time descending. And here we see the latest video events which were triggered on the platform. And as you can see, they were triggered on the demo course. That was today. No, that was not today. No, we did not. Did we trigger a video event? No, I think we didn't, because it was too slow. Am I right? So let's trigger one. So I did play and pause, and I should see the event appearing here. Here it is. So there's a play event and a pause event. And as you can see, you can explore all the tables. So you can take a look at the course enrollments table. We have just 3 enrollments in these 2 courses because we only have 2 students. And then you want to take a look at the course grades. There's just 1 grade for user ID 5. And here you can type really any SQL you want. So if we take a look at the events table, you have this table with lots of data there. Let's take a look at the data that comes from the browser, where event source equals browser. And we see that we have the user ID here, but we would like to get more information about this user ID. And Cairn allows you to make joins between the event data and what I call the stateful data. This is really the magic of Cairn. So what you want to do is to select everything from the course enrollments, where user ID in select user ID So here you have information from the course enrollments and joined on the events table. You can also view data with an inner join. Inner join events on events user ID equals course enrollments user ID. And also, let's take a look only at where events dot event source equals browser. And we have an error here, type mismatch. So user ID is a uint 64 left, and events user is a int 64. So we need to cast here to uint 64. And here we have information both from the course enrollments and from the event data. And this is really cool, because then you can query your data and create custom visualization with your data. This is a very simple feature. Well, this is one of the essential features of Superset. So there's a small demo which I very much like. This allows you to see the users that were active recently. So for instance, select user ID from events where event source equals browser. But perhaps most importantly, this allows you to see the users who were not active. And this is really useful. So maybe you want to take a look at when. So what's the syntax again? Date sub week 1 now. Does this work? No, this does not work. Where time date sub. And there you go. So here you see the user ID, the distinct user IDs for users who were active in the past week. But what you want to do is to get the profiles of users who were not active, because you want to ping them and you want to send them a notification. So what you want to do is to select the user email from the course enrollments tables, where user ID not in this list. This gives you this user email which did not log in the demo course in the past week. And then you can export this to CSV, and you can send an email to this user asking, hey, what are you guys doing? You should be following the course. We haven't seen you for a long while. So Cairn gives you this flexibility to explore your data. And I should mention that you are free to put Cairn in front of your course staff users, because Cairn allows you to gives you row-based, data-based access rights for your data, meaning that you are able to grant permission to some users only depending on the content of the data. This means that you can provide course staff access to only the data relative to their course. And you do that by creating a user for which should access only the data for which the course ID matches a certain value, or the course ID matches only a certain organization. And once you do that, the user you just created has only access to the data which contain the right course ID. So you are free to create many different accounts for your users, and you are guaranteed that they will only have access to the right data. which is, I think, really cool. Okay, that was it for this small demo. I think I only covered very little of what you can do with this, but you got the gist. You have off-the-shelf dashboards, which are updated in real time. You can create your own queries here with SQL Lab, and you can then explore your data with custom visualization. So how do you install this? Cairn comes with a Tutor Wizard Edition license, which is not free, so you need to register. Here, view pricing. When you register, you select the number of users. The number of users, this might be not very intuitive. The number of users is actually the number of Unix users, not the number of students. The number of Unix users roughly corresponds to how many servers you run. So if you have a single server where you run all your OpenEdX instances, then you just need a single user license. But if you also want to run Cairn on your local laptop, then you will need to select 2 users here. You can be billed either yearly or monthly. If you want to try it out, I strongly recommend you just buy a single monthly license.